The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Nick Harris, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Tuesday, November 26th, 2024, Season 20, Episode number 75. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. We got a lot to get into today. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, my chair didn't want to pull up over here.
Chair trouble
That's
already.
every day, every chair,
We're
right?
like a $10 billion company with bad chairs.
I don't know if it's the chair's fault. I think it's more the carpet. That's the problem. The carpet. Like you
We can
can't
maybe
slide
do a
on
little
this
better.
thing.
Maybe.
But anyway.
Slow track.
Anyway, let's get into this thing. We're going to talk first about some interesting comments that Mr. Jones had this morning on with Sean, RJ, and Bobby on 105.3 The Fan here locally. Then we'll get an injury update. It is a massive injury report, but part of that is also a short week, and so they list a lot of guys, as Jerry even said this morning, they list a lot of guys that maybe if you had a regular schedule this week playing on Sunday, some of these guys may not even make the injury report, but we'll talk about that as well, and then we'll get into the New York offense. I think pretty much the whole conversation is going to come down to one Tommy DeVito, but we'll talk about that when we get into it. Let's start first with a comment Jerry made this morning that I think was pretty interesting for me, at least. He was talking about he was asked about tanking and his thoughts on tanking, and he went to this whole thing about it. He talked a little bit about how coaches care about their win-loss record and players care about winning, and he said, the game's too important, winning is too important. And he threw this in. It wasn't to this question, it was another question, but he ended it with, this thing isn't over, which leads everybody to think that in the back of his mind, he still thinks at 4-7 there is a chance that the Cowboys can get on a roll here and actually make something of this season. My question for you guys is, at 4-7, with favorable matchups over the next 4 weeks, do you think Dallas can actually work themselves back into contention for a wild card spot?
I don't. It's a 5% chance, according to NFL Next Gen stats, that they squeak into the playoffs. And I was breaking down like the ESPN playoff model yesterday and what exactly they would need. They would basically need to win out. And every team that has, I did it as like every team that has the better record in every matchup across the NFL for the rest of the year, I put them as the winner, and I give the tiebreaker to a home team. They make the playoff in that scenario. So
every team ahead of them has to lose out? Is that what you're saying?
No. Every other game that does not involve the Cowboys, I put the winner as the team that has the best record currently.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if the teams have the same record, then I put the home team. I just get the tiebreaker to the home team. I was like, okay, let me figure out.
And they don't make it, or they do make it?
They do make it in that scenario as the 7 seed. But if they even lose just one game.
So it really is on them, because the way you're saying that, you're actually giving deference to the better team in all the matchups.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're just saying that basically it really relies on Dallas.
Yeah.
I know this sounds crazy. Dallas winning out. Essentially, that would be 7 games straight.
7 straight. That would
be 7 games straight, a 7-game win streak to be able to finish the season, and under that scenario, they could get in.
Yeah, at 10-7, they'd be the 7 seed, and I believe that they would be traveling to Green Bay, which is funny.
I didn't think the odds would actually be that good. Like that actually seemed like that was not other than Cowboys obviously winning out. Like that's hard to do. I don't care who you're playing. That's hard to win 7 games in a row in the NFL. But just looking at it from everybody else's standpoint, that actually is.
It's hard to win without your quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. If you had Dak, you probably would feel a little bit better about that, right?
I mean, they weren't playing great with him, but that's. Listen, there are too many days now. If you lost to the Saints, who are awful right now.
Yeah.
Atlanta doesn't look like the same team. They're 6-5. You had some. The Ravens you can understand. The Eagles you can understand. There's been some games where look at San Francisco now. Look at their situation. I mean, it's you allow too many things to get away from you early in this season. Is there a possibility? Sure. Can they win these games? Yeah, sure, they can. But I feel like, though, to me, there were so many losses early and bad ones, some bad losses that you are what you are. And, is there hope? You did beat the team that is currently the 7th seed right now, right? Mm-hmm. Commanders. So, yeah, I'm with Nick. I just don't see it. I could see a few more wins along the way, but I could also see a few more losses as well.
Yeah, it's obviously highly unlikely based on everything that they've presented this season so far. But at the same time, I mean, there's always a chance until there's not.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't expect Jerry to come on the radio or anywhere and say otherwise. Like, you're still going to fight as much as you can. And people, I've heard fans and send me messages like, oh, but you don't want them to tank. Is like asking like that you should be wanting to tank the season to get a better draft pick. But there's no way, if you're a real fan, or if you're coaching or playing or the general manager, there's no way you get to a game and you don't want every part of you to have them win. Like, I get it. We can sit here, oh, yeah, draft pick. But then once we're in the game, watching the game, you're like, no, come on. Like, you get into it and you want to get that win. And it's exciting. And that's what the game is all about. So I think all of that mentality of draft and position goes out the window once you're in it and living the game in the present. So it's hard for you to convince the whole team to be like, hey, guys, yeah, let's lose this game. Let's go out there.
They were
and
heavy underdogs against the Commanders.
Yeah.
Heavy underdogs.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this. They don't need to tank. They've got some deficiencies.
Yeah.
They naturally try and give games away. They've given away some games this year, so you don't have to tank, but you guys are right. Everybody's done this long enough. It's hard to come in this building every week and not try and win. Mm-hmm. It's hard. I sound like Mickey there for a minute, but it just is.
Actually, really,
it's hard. But to me, like I said, Jerry's right. The drafting position will be what it is, and you'll make do of it. And he said, "Hey, the players we want will be there," and he's going to be right about that. Would you like to have high picks throughout the thing? Yeah, but not at the cost of being damn miserable every damn week. Yeah. It's different when you work in this building.
There you go. That's the answer right there. Yep.
It's different. I mean, I've experienced it from both ends. I've been, 5-11, 3 straight years. God dang, I almost said what I would have done if, just to get a win. Derek, you were part of that.
Yeah.
You saw that. It's miserable around here, folks. This is no fun.
Yep.
This is not a fun place when you lose. Imagine going to your job every day and somebody telling you you're not worth a damn. This is hard. And when you win, you get a breath. You get to live again. George Allen, the old Washington at the time Redskins coach, said, "When you lose, a little piece of you dies. Mm-hmm. You die when you lose here." And that's a problem. And I could see why. Trust me, it's not just the Joneses. It's Derek Eagleton. It's Amber Garcia. It's Nick Eatman. It's everybody that works in this building. They die a little bit when they lose.
I must say, the Somos Cowboys content has been popping since yesterday, so it's good.
That's what I'm saying.
When they win, it's good.
Yes.
It's a different vibe and a different feel.
2016, this thing was on a run, a 11 straight game run. It went Giants loss and then a Giants loss, which was really strange that year. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just the energy that you feel, and you get, and you want the best draft position? Absolutely you do. But not at the cost of feeling like crap every week you work here. Yep. It doesn't work that way. Seriously, folks, if you were part of this, you would understand it. It sucks. Yep. Everything about it sucks. And that's why when people argue with me about, well, man, you got to tank. No, you don't. You don't. 5-11, 3 straight years. No. I won a Super Bowl. That's one of the greatest feelings. Other than my son being born, it's one of the greatest feelings I've ever had in my life. Being 5-11 3 straight years, when I'm from Dallas, Texas, and watching my friends go, what are you doing over there? Mm. To be honest with you, I really don't know. That's the kind of crap you go through. Yep. And so, yes, everybody gets to breathe a little bit this week.
And that's the honest part of it, Brian, that would literally can't. No, it's true, but you can't escape it. That's the point. When things are going bad and going really bad, you can't escape it. Everywhere you go, you
Yeah.
go to your kid's school, you
Yeah.
go to the barbershop,
Right.
you go to the grocery store, you happen to be wearing some Cowboys gear, which we have plenty of because they always are giving us stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody asks
Thanks,
you about
Mike
it.
and Bucky, for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just like you can't escape it. So it's nice when I know on the plane afterwards there were lots
All
of
the damn
smiles.
cookies are gone.
Amber
No
smiling,
cookies.
Amber
No
smiling,
cookies.
Nick smiling, everybody's smiling after a win. After a loss, everybody's grumpy, and it's
Yeah.
not fun. It's
No.
like you work here. Part of why people work here, I think, is because it is a fun environment. It is cool being around the team and actually being able to partake in this. When it's losing, it ain't fun.
No, this
It's
would
not
be
fun.
this would be one of the best gigs in the world if you didn't have to play games.
Yeah, if you won all the time, or just didn't play.
If they just said, "Hey, listen, we're going to have a team on paper. You're going to draft. You're going to sign guys, and you had the best paper team. Okay, now we go to the offseason. Win. Here we go. So that's where I'm kind of like, got young visitors outside here today.
Oh my god.
Is he okay?
We're having.
Y'all keep talking.
This is what happens these days
is
with
great.
when it's Thanksgiving holidays.
Yeah.
we got guests that come
Yeah.
and visit us.
Yeah.
Oh, look at there.
Hey,
There's
look
Mr.
at it.
Diego.
Mr. Diego is a part of the show
What's up,
today.
buddy?
The most handsome man on the planet.
Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying though. I just know from my personal feeling of working here.
Yeah.
And I can understand it. And like people are like, oh no, you and I, we work on the draft so hard. Better drafting position? Yeah. Why not? But it's okay. Wherever they say we're going to pick, we'll find players.
Right.
We'll pick. We'll pick the first round, the second round. We'll give away that fourth round pick because we sometimes we don't care about that fourth round pick. But here we are. We'll draft. Wherever that position is, you'll figure it out.
I'll tell you where they won't draft is 24, or 29, wherever they drafted last year, and then trade it back to. You have a better pick
Unless
than
they
you did last year.
bail that thing out of it like they did Travis Frederick that one year.
That is true. That is true.
For me, this feels like a little bit like Christmas used to feel when I was younger. You get to dream a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now, they're still in it, so you could dream a little bit, and not as crazy as it may sound that they could get on a run and go 7 in a row and win 7 in a row, and everything works out to where you have this magical run. It's still magical. In this time of the year, this is when you can allow yourself to just dream of the magical. Right?
If something crazy like that happens, it would be the best documentary we ever
this crazy
made
Yes, 'cause
with
this
everything
crazy year-
that has happened this season.
Hey.
And if it was to be an outcome
doubt.
like that, it would be insane.
Just for the record, we're making a list of all the crazy things that have happened this season because that's a documentary in and of itself. But if they should turn it around
Can
and
you
actually get
imagine?
on a run, that would break.
All right, I'm
we would
getting
break the
excited.
internet with
I'm
that.
getting excited.
Our dreams also died on a Thanksgiving, if you remember that.
Fair.
Several years
See what
ago.
one win has done.
See,
in
that's
the
what I'm
first
saying,
place.
Right.
Got to win at the
That's
Dolphins.
the point. That is the point.
Got to win.
That's what winning
Got to
does.
win against the
does.
Dolphins. You got to Dan Campbell, I think, interim coach of the Dolphins. Rainy day, and then it got hotter than all standing down there. Get a victory. Romo plays. Then Thanksgiving comes around, and then Romo's laying on the field, injured that time, and then our dreams died.
Yeah.
So we've
We're
seen
talking about death a lot today.
sports death.
All right.
Sports death.
Yeah, let's clear that up.
Yeah.
Make that
George
clear.
Allen, sports death.
All right. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about these injuries and then get into some of the New York Giant offense. We'll be back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's Stay in Your Car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game, but don't take our word for it. Digital Trends said the LG OLED G4 has the best picture quality they've ever seen. See it for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo. And make sure to upgrade your internet so you can get clear picture on that TV,
Yes,
like Derek said.
I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And I just figured out this weekend for Texas A&M, I will actually literally be able to watch it in 4K because the internet connection's right, the device is right, and the TV's right. So I'm ready.
Have you figured out how to get Craig Way on the broadcast?
That'd be how you do it.
I would try and find a way to get. I love Craig Way. He's
I do
he's
too.
a
He's
play-by-play
really
guy for the
good.
Texans.
He's really good.
Craig and I are really good friends.
Yeah,
and
he's really good.
He is so fun to call a game with. I've done high school football with him. He is such a pro.
He is.
Gosh, such a pro.
Yep.
Great job with those Texas games.
I'm so excited about that game this weekend. And nervous.
You should
Yeah.
be
nervous.
Yeah.
I was talking to my son Bennett about it. He's got actually a good seat. He's in the end zone, but in the lower bowl.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
yeah, he got a pretty.
He's going to
good
be surrounded by A&M people.
The last time he was in that stadium, he saw LSU take a 7 overtime loss against A&M. So he's hopeful of different outcome there for sure.
I think it's going to be a classic game. I really do. I think
They usually are.
Good. Yeah,
They
I think
usually
it's really
are.
good. All right, let's get into some injuries. We've got. I'm going to run down 10 names here because that list is long. I got 10 I picked out that I think are most consequential, and I'm just going to run
10?
down names.
Sounds good.
And you tell me what's going on with them. Austin Richards did not practice ankle.
Yeah, so he was wearing a boot yesterday whenever media walked into the locker room. It looks like this is going to be an issue that keeps him out for at least a couple of weeks. So certainly going to miss Thanksgiving, and it's going to. I think he'd be hard pressed to play against Cincinnati, which is unfortunate just because he's been rotating in with Tyler Guyton. It looked like he had finally carved a role for himself, and then now this high ankle has popped up, and we've seen how long high ankles can nag on. You saw with Micah Parsons that ended up being a lot longer than expected initially. So that's the word right now, but not playing Thursday.
Adoga in that spot now then? But Adoga works back in. Now, do you continue to rotate even with Adoga? You just maybe they found something by rotating with Guyton in a tackle, another tackle.
I don't think that was necessarily by plan. I think whenever the penalties got out of hand in the fourth quarter, then that's when Austin started to pick up those.
All he has to do is
snaps.
line up a little closer to the line.
Yeah, you just got to
right.
make sure there's not huge green grass in between.
He's not a slot tackle.
Right.
That's what he is, yeah.
But
how did Richards play this last week?
I thought
What
he
you
was
see from
Austin Richards or
Yeah,
Guyton?
Richards.
Richards, I thought was fine.
Yeah.
He only had, I think it was 14 pass block snaps, so he didn't have a ton of opportunities, but he was clean. I thought he was cleaner than when he started a couple of weeks ago. So
he's like the old Molly Hatchet song, "Flirting with Disaster." That's a song back in the day.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. The name of the song, "Flirting." Look it up. "Flirting with Disaster." It kind of describes how he flirts with disaster every once in a while. You know, I mean, it's like whoa, and then he balls away, kind of a thing. So yeah, I mean, he plays on his feet, and he's able to kind of work guys past the quarterback, and when he's asked to make a cutoff block, he can get it. But man, I mean, he has not been a liability out there when he's been asked to play.
Cooper Rush limited with a knee.
So Mike McCarthy was asked about this yesterday in the press conference, and he said he had just gotten back from seeing Cooper. They're just going to take it slow with him this week, but doesn't look to be anything too serious, but it is noted that he was limited for sure.
Trayvon Diggs missed last week he's limited yesterday with groin and knee. What's up with him?
It's trending in the right direction. It got back on the practice field yesterday, so that was a big step in the right direction. My anticipation is that he will play on Thursday from the conversations I've had, but they're going to take it slowly. There's a reason why, and I'm sure it'll be in kind of the answer I give for one of the guys you ask about here soon.
Oh, that's interesting. Nice little tease. All right, Tyler Smith, limited, ankle, knee.
Sounds like he's going to be able to go on Thursday. Being able to get that rest over the weekend, not only not playing, but just kind of taking it easy and being overall off the field, it allowed him to heal up. So he was able to get back on the practice field Monday, which I think was a little bit better than some could have expected. So.
All right. Eric Kendricks did not participate with groin and shoulder.
Yeah, I say that. That's probably the one we need to ask about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only guy I don't have something for right here.
All right, and that could be a Veteran Day kind of thing.
It could be.
Let me say, we'll ask him how he feels,
yeah.
and if he doesn't give a really long answer, then he's probably not going to play.
Right.
If he
just glosses over it,
if
then
he gives you a gloss answer, then but we have him on at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
today.
I think we've been fooled quite a bit this season with some of these guys that we're expecting to come back, and then they
Diggs
go.
was the surprise one last week.
Oh yeah, no doubt it
bit.
was.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Even Tyler,
I
thought Tyler was a surprise. I was expecting Tyler to play, but all right. Marshawn Nealon did not participate with a knee.
Yeah, just battling soreness. It was his first game back after being brought off IR. It was I think it was a scheduled DNP yesterday, so just battling some soreness off that knee.
Zach Martin did not practice ankle and shoulder.
Yeah, also looking like he will not play on Thursday. Looks like they're hoping to get him back in time for Cincinnati.
All right. Jake Ferguson did not participate with a concussion.
Yeah, still in the protocol, not expected to play on Thursday as of now.
CeeDee Lamb, limited.
Yeah, still good. Just battling some soreness again with him as well. He's been battling that foot all year, it feels like. So, and now that back has started to creep in the last couple of weeks. This is just a guy who's been asked to do a whole lot in these last few weeks, and he's taking the bruises as a result.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks, limited with a knee.
So this is what I'm talking about. So Brandon Cooks was scheduled to play last week, all throughout the week, and there was even packages included for him in the offensive game plan throughout practice last week. Got to Friday, and he was experiencing a little bit more soreness than expected, and so they went ahead and shut him down for the weekend. But that decision did not come until Friday. The reason I had mentioned Trayvon Diggs a little bit earlier is just because it's going good right now, but it could be a Wednesday thing where things are not going good and he could be pulled. That's why I mentioned that. But as of right now, Cooks should be ready to go by Thursday. That's if he stays on track.
All right, awesome.
Do they have to activate him?
He does have to be activated.
So somebody has to come off?
Somebody would have to come off, or somebody else would have to go on IR. If it depends what the testing is around Awesome Richards. If they expect that to be at least a 4-game ordeal, then that would probably be the easy move. But then you basically lose Awesome Richards for the rest of the season.
But I've never heard of a high ankle that didn't take more than 2 weeks.
Might as
Like
well
high ankles typically take much more than that, you know. But yeah, I mean high ankles they tend to just drag on. Most of the time you hear that, you're thinking 4 to 6 weeks at the very least.
When the trainer immediately goes high, and then you go, no, like high, and they go, no, high ankle sprain, you know, and you're like,
not below.
Yeah. You're like, oh. Yeah.
But who knows? Obviously, they got to do more testing and figure that part out. But that could be, I guess, part of it if they get to that point. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Giants' offense. And as I started kind of looking at everything around them, it seems like everything's about Tommy DeVito. Whatever they're going to be able to do or not do will be about Tommy DeVito. Stop it, Brian. So I just, what I thought about? I thought about that great story you tell about when Parcells sent you to go and get those tickets.
Oh,
those guys pulled a gun on me?
That's a great one.
Hilarious.
I went to, those my man, Manny and those guys, man.
You ever reach out to Manny?
No, heck no.
You don't keep up with Manny?
I watch him on documentaries every week.
Can we tell that story on air? Is that a story we can tell?
I don't know. That's a Brian question. Can you tell that story?
Let's talk about the Giants. I'll come back with it. How about that?
All right. Let's Tommy DeVito. All right. Tell me what Tommy DeVito does well and where he struggles.
You got something in mind for Tommy D?
You take Tommy D. I'll take Tyrone Tracy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. The guy's playing really great. I'll say this about with the thing with Tommy DeVito is they've really had a problem with their offensive line. And I say that because of what happens with Daniel Jones. You go back and watch all the sacks. These quarterbacks hold the ball. And so what happens is this offensive line gives up a lot of pressures. They give up sacks. They've had a revolving door now at left tackle has been a problem. They've had to move the right tackle to left tackle, now back from left tackle to right tackle. It's really been a big issue for them. But with Tommy DeVito, the thing about him is, though, he can be accurate throwing the football. And he can be accurate throwing it not so much in the middle of the field, but things like in the flats, the hitches, and things like that. So, what you have to be mindful of is that he is going to try and get the ball out quick. Does he always have success doing it? No, he doesn't. And when he holds it, then that's when he gets in some problems there. They've really, really struggled. Malik Neighbors last week was, he was adamant. I mean, he was hot. This is going to be the Malik Neighbors show.
Yep.
This is going to be Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, the OC here. They're going to, as they throw the football with Tommy DeVito, it is I have a feeling that every single pass is going to go in the direction of Malik Neighbors. Mm-hmm. They're going to live or die by him playing in this game.
Because they got to make sure he knows you are our offense.
Yeah, and you know what? He is absolutely right. He is their best player. Now, I will say this, though. You're right about Tracy. Because when we played the first time around here, it was Singletary was the lead back. Mm-hmm. Tracy was kind of the back. Those roles have flipped now. But the thing about DeVito, though, is that it's the shots down the field are probably not going to be accurate. The shots in the middle of the field probably not going to be accurate. But everything to like the outsides and like the little quick passes, the hitches, the outs, and things like that, the swings, the flats. That's kind of where he wants to throw the football.
Okay. Yeah. Is he better than Daniel Jones?
No,
or are they about the same guy? Or is Daniel Jones clearly better?
They have both court. I mean, I sat there and watched Daniel Jones take sack after sack, just because I was curious. Like, is it the offensive line? Is it the quarterback? These dudes will hold the ball. I mean, now, okay, they've got guys that can get open. Neighbors can get open. He hadn't played. I mean, he's had some times. He got hurt in that Dallas game and missed some games. Neighbors, Slayton, Robinson, they've got guys that can catch the football. They've got guys, the tight end, Theo Johnson, can catch the football. So I think a lot of it has to do with how bad their line's played. But, man, it's been a struggle for these quarterbacks just to get the ball out of their hands, to find guys. And you watch it you watch the sideline copy, and you're like, guy's open. Just throw the ball. Throw it. So I think a lot of it has to do with the line. I think a lot of it has to do with the quarterbacks holding the ball. But I guarantee you, Neighbors. I think Witten played a game against the Giants one time where he had like 18 targets. I could see this. I could see the same thing with Malik Neighbors in this game. Yeah.
Malik Neighbors used to talk about him being adamant. He had some words to say to the media after their loss to the Buccaneers on Sunday about
soft.
Yeah, about his unuse in the offense, I guess you could say. I'll speak about this offense as a whole, and then I'll dive into Tracy. There's enough desperation on the offensive side of the ball for the Giants where it should concern Cowboys fans, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
You look at a quarterback who is getting a rare second opportunity to win a starting job, and he shouldn't really be having that opportunity, in my opinion. It should be Drew Lock.
It should be Lock,
You have a offensive play caller / head coach who, going into a 10-day break, could be looking at this situation and being like, hey, if we don't perform here, I could be out of a job come Monday. And then you have an offensive line that is starting to get healthier. Evan Neal's come back. He's played well in his first couple of games back. And I think this protection unit is playing a little bit better in the last couple of weeks. I think you have all of that in Malik Neighbors as well. I think there's a desperation to get him targets. There's enough desperation that I think it should concern you. I'll dive into Tyrone Tracy. As you mentioned, Devin Singletary was the starter for the last time these two teams played up at MetLife. The very next week, they turned to Tracy. At that moment, they were 30th in the NFL in total rushing. They were averaging 85 yards per game. They couldn't sustain drives for anything. Singletary was just not the guy. And Daboll had seen his offense only put together 26 yards on the ground against that Cowboys rush defense that had given up 557 in the first 3 games. They turned to the rookie Tyrone Tracy. He's a rookie out of Purdue, played receiver for his first 2 or 3 years with the Boilermakers, and then made the switch to running back for his last season, and played really well, earned himself a day 3 draft pick, and now a starting role in the NFL. Since they have turned to him, he's put together 558 yards on the ground in 7 games, and it has shot the Giants all the way up from 30th to 19th, which is really tough to do in the middle of a season, to make up that much ground. I think for a Cowboys rush defense that is still trying to figure out from a rush perspective, from a rushing perspective, this could be a game where Tracy breaks a couple. And if he's able to sustain drives, make life a little bit easier for Tommy DeVito, this offense can score points.
See, the thing that it's interesting, and you mentioned about Tracy, and I think the most positive thing about him is, you look at the yards per carry, and he's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. But go watch him run against when they play like the loaded box, where they have 8 guys in the box. This guy averages over 4 yards a carry against that, and like he's got 10. He's got 5 of his 5 runs of 10 yards or plus against those stacked boxes. I was like, okay, how's this guy going to play? If Dallas tries to kind of just stop the running game and stuff, he still has successful rushes against 8 or more in the box. And he's also had some, 5 of those runs have been with 10 yards or more with a lot of people down in the box. He catches the ball well too, because the former receiver and stuff like that. But yeah, this is, I think this offensive line, this is, I think, where you and I had the disconnect here on this. Mm-hmm. I think it's a mess.
It is a mess, but it's playing better in the last couple of weeks.
I think it's a mess, and there's things. They're a big offensive line, with the exception of at center, and I don't think they move particularly well. And I think the one thing Dallas could really take advantage of them is with their quickness and with the way that they run stunts, the way they bring blitzes. You could go back and watch these guys play, and the more that teams really blitz them, and they don't sort out twists very well, and they don't sort out blitzes very well. And if I'm Dallas, I'm going to put as much pressure. Their center's really light. He's a good center. He's athletic. John Michael Schmitz I watched Vita Vea early, and he just take him. It looked very similar to like Stieg trying to block on that punt, that he was just on skates and he just got crumpled. And then, all of a sudden now there's a sack right there. These guys just have a lot of problem with athletic rushers. Yep. Philadelphia, you watch the Philadelphia game. Dallas pretty much did a pretty decent job of handling those guys. These guys didn't handle Philly all that well, and that gives me some hope that with similar type of rushers and movement that they can make some hay against this offensive line.
I'd be attacking the interior here.
Yeah.
I love the double mug linebacker look from Mike Zimmer, and how he uses that with DeMarvion Overshone and some other guys to send some free guys at the quarterback.
Right.
I think you could see something similar here, but it's also an opportunity for a guy like Osa Odighizuwa. I'd be attacking their interior. The right guard, Greg Van Roten. He was the guy who gave up 2 sacks last week, so that would be the matchup for Odighizuwa that I would see as a potential for the Giants offense to crumple.
By the way, just got word, because I asked about they asked about Kendricks, and they said, hey, they got 48 hours. There's some concern there, but they got 48 hours to work with here, so they're going to see how that goes. But
it's tough, man. Veterans on a short turnaround like that, it's tough. It's really tough. All right, let's take our final break. When we come back, I want to dive a little bit more into Mike Zimmer's defense that's gotten a lot better here over the last couple weeks, and how they could potentially match up here, particularly against the run, where they've had some success here recently against the lead receivers and lead running backs that they face. Yeah. They have not had success necessarily against some of the quarterbacks that run like Jaden Daniels. We'll talk about that when we come back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. You might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit unitedagandturf.com to find a location near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to the break.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. This is the final segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. The segment brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, let's talk about Mike Zimmer's defense. I heard you guys talking in that last segment about this offense and being a little bit concerned about different things. One of the things that gives me hope that desperation from the Giants won't manifest itself in this game is the fact that I think Mike Zimmer's defense has played so well and is seeming to get better. They're starting to figure it out. And that defense is really predicated on confusion of the quarterback. And I think for young quarterbacks and inexperienced quarterbacks, I think that's even more important. So I think it's going to be a tough day for DeVito just from the standpoint of having to figure out what's happening, who's coming, who's not, when Mike gets into those kinds of formations and starts looking like he's going to bring a lot of guys and then backing guys out. But that all being said, let's talk about the matchup specifically against this defense. I want to start with the run defense. They held Robinson and Eckler to 17 carries for 57 yards last week, a 3.4 average. But they did allow Jaden Daniels to hit him for 7 carries for 74 yards, a 10.6 average, and a touchdown. Where did you see from what you watched last week, where did you see them do well? Where did you see them struggle when it comes to run defense?
It just felt like all hell broke loose with Jaden Daniels in the final 5 minutes. He had that big, I think it was 27-yard carry where he kind of just zigzagged around the field. He found some consistency on those 3 drives that they were able to put together where he really started to stack those yards. But up until that point, I felt like they did a really good job of containing him. They were forcing him to the sideline. Jaden Daniels was not trying to get hit, which was much different than his LSU days.
And he enjoyed getting hit there.
He definitely enjoyed getting hit. But they were leading him to the sideline, escorting him out. And then in those final 5 minutes, it just got a little wild. I think you saw a little bit of desperation from Washington, and Daniels started to use the whole field a little bit more. But I think from a mobile quarterback perspective, I think overall the Cowboys still do have issues there, because when you have a mobile quarterback who is trying to make it a little bit more difficult than just being escorted out of bounds, then those guys can have some success. Is Tommy DeVito that guy? I don't think necessarily. Yeah. But him being a young quarterback, I think there are some ways that Mike Zimmer can take advantage of that, because not only you look at the rookie in Jaden Daniels, you look a couple of weeks ago, second-year guy in C.J. Stroud, he had some issues identifying pre-snap blitzes, or he had some issues pre-snap identifying denying blitzes. Mike Zimmer did a lot of things with him post-snap as well that caused some issues. And also Stroud just didn't have his best day. Granted, it ended up in a 34-10 win or whatever it was. But he has success against young quarterbacks because it's a lot to take in. And especially in a short week, it's not a lot to prepare for. So I agree with you. I think that this defense can have success against DeVito. That's why I think they're going to lean on this run game early and often, and I think they're going to find some success with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to just add, like, I think the way they played last week is it's creating momentum for this Cowboys defense. And typically I would be like, doesn't matter the amount of experience or inexperience that a quarterback has. The Cowboys always struggle with even younger players when they can run and get out. But this is a game that I feel like it's favoring the Cowboys a lot more because of the way that the defense is playing in general. And then on top of that, this doesn't deal with the quarterback pressure. But remembering Deron Bland, him coming back for another game, remembering what happened last year. Last year, Thanksgiving was the moment where he broke that record. So I just have a feeling that somehow they're going to be able to not only create pressure, but also start creating those turnovers again. And we see that those come in bunches typically. And this is a big opportunity. You guys talk about the offensive line, but I'm like, the defensive line for the Cowboys is also getting better with those pressures too.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And, the Giants front office did you a favor by getting rid of Daniel Jones. Because if Daniel Jones is playing quarterback here, now you have a legitimate run option at quarterback.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a guy that will pull it and run and is not afraid to try and run into people and get first downs and stuff like that. I don't think Tommy DeVito is going to be that way. Tyron Tracy is a good back. I mean, he is. Dallas is going to have to find a way to win up front. They cannot let a big Giants offensive line lean on them in this football game and then have Tracy, just carrying the ball and every time you look up, it's 2nd and 5. And he's capable of playing that way. So they need to be well aware of how talented this back really, really is and be able to win this game up front against this big offensive line.
Would you say you're more concerned about the Giants' passing attack or their rushing attack based on what Dallas has done well so far in the last couple games? Let's just put it to the last few games when they've played much better.
A rushing attack, for sure. Still in the last 3 games, they are the bottom 5 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed. I think it's 157.7 they've given up in the last 3 games per game. I'm more scared of this rushing attack.
Yeah, the rushing is a problem. Again, Tommy DeVito throwing the football. Malik Neighbors could very well be targeted a ton in this game just because of what you think is going to happen. There's a team kind of going nowhere, and let's see if we can get him going. I don't know if Tommy DeVito can beat you throwing the football, but I know Tyron Tracy just running the ball consistently could be a path for victory for them.
When you look at a guy like Marshawn Nealon and what he did last week, what was your assessment of him coming back from injury?
Limited snaps.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever really found a rhythm as a result. I think this was a game where he was on a very strict pitch count. From what I was told, he actually didn't even reach that pitch count. Once things got kind of out of hand or crazy late, they didn't want him in that type of situation. So I think he just needs to continue stacking reps. I'm not really going to take that one game as an evaluation for Nealon personally, but as he starts to get more snaps, I'm definitely keeping an eye on
the times he got to play. There was a burst there, and you could kind of see when those times when Daniels was running to the edge, you could see him chasing from the backside and stuff. So yeah, absolutely. This game he kind of got his feet wet last week. And now maybe an opportunity to be a little bit better and show up a little bit more in some of the scheme stuff they want to do.
What about Mozzie Smith?
Mozzie, I thought, played pretty well. Mozzie's one of those guys, we figured it out. Mozzie is a divisional player. Like when it's the Giants, the Commanders, the Eagles, that's kind of Mozzie's best games.
We got a big Mozzie fan over here, too.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not a Mozzie.
Not a Mozzie fan.
My bad.
But no, I think.
Sorry, guys, we're bouncing.
Say
go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Bye, Diego.
Bye, Diego. But yeah, I felt like that. The first play of the game, and then there were some other snaps. If John Michael Schmitz, the center for the Giants, is going to play small, and play light, sure. take advantage of that. And Mozzie showed some nice power, I thought, in this game. Divisional game has always seemed to be his cup of tea.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna get into the Giants defense versus the Cowboys offense. We'll also kind of wrap this thing up for you, tell you what we think is going to happen on Thursday. It's a short week, but we appreciate you guys joining us. For Nick Harris, Brian Broaddus, and Amber Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?